A very good afternoon to you, Ndadel Tsatsi, and thank you so much for your time this afternoon. So what about those that actually don't have Facebook and the government app?
Good afternoon, Murray, and thanks for having us. I think we are in the process of opening up the USSD line. It should be up and running towards the end of this week. We are delighted that the WhatsApp line is up and running now as we speak. But we took this decision to make sure that we think about the USSD, because we knew that majority of people who apply for the SRT grant, some of them might not even have access to their smartphones. So it will definitely be rolled out towards the end of the week.
Was this crash of the system a matter of a lot of people were applying since they found out that the 350 Rand grant is back, or that the SASSA system is probably just, not really where it should be in terms of managing this kind of traffic?
Morena, we have, when the system was opened last week, a minute, we had 2,000 applications, just a minute. So I'm sure we can understand the magnitude of people who are trying to apply and so on. But it's a mix of various options, because before it was launched last week, we did take the system through the stress processes just to check if it can go through the processes and so on. And we got a very positive observation. However, as the numbers kept on going up to 2,000 per minute, the system actually became slower. But the good thing is that we then spoke to GovChat, which said, in the meantime, while we're trying to make sure that the system is up and running, we can then be able to introduce this option, which helped a lot, because when we checked in terms of the people who applied last week Friday and people who applied for the first time when the 350 grant was introduced, we realized that the numbers were more last week Friday. But we are definitely going to do better. This afternoon, actually, in fact, this morning, I got the good news that the WhatsApp line was now up and running.
Why did Morena le Paseka have to apply again when Morena le Paseka were already getting the grant before? Why couldn't they be, just have those names brought back from the previous recipients to this list of recipients now? Why must now
No, thanks for that question, We had at a lockdown level 5, for an example, you would have someone who was running a saloon, for an example, and the saloons were closed. So the conditions of that person could have changed from lockdown level 5 to lockdown level 3, because we do the verification every month and just to check if the condition is the same or it has changed. And in these instances, especially during this period of COVID-19, I told you the conditions about to do a change. But at some point, and they are getting a form of an income. So our intention is to make sure that the money goes to people who need it most, because we can't, for an example, there are people who are benefiting from NSFAS, there are people who are benefiting from UIF, there are people who might be benefiting, getting money from other government agencies. So when we make an application, we bounce the information with other relevant government agencies to make sure that you don't double dip, because the kit is very small and we need to make sure that those who need it most get it.
Is the system okay now? Now that you've introduced the GovChat app and Facebook, is the online system YaSASSA okay now?
The system is up and running. With the stress which we had, something which kept me awake at night was the fact that the WhatsApp line was very slow. But as I woke up this morning, I got the information from Grants Administration and our IT section that the WhatsApp line is it's operating at the maximum, and they have moved forward to make sure that those who don't have access to the smartphones, at least then they will be able to access the application towards the end of the week, which at least made me to relax a little bit, to say at least people will then be able to make an application without experiencing any problem. But Moran, I want to appeal to those who are making an application that please, if you have a bank account, give us the bank account, because the intention is to make sure that we kept the spread of COVID-19. We don't want people to be going to the post offices. They don't allow those queues at the post offices, which are very long and so on. So if you have a bank account, but please give it to us so that we can then be able to make your life easy.
All right. Dadil Tsatsi, thank you very much for joining us here on the Midday View on ENCA.